Hello, welcome to Gentle Yoga. My name is Ellen. Welcome to the Virtual Y. Today our Gentle Yoga sequence is going to be based around Yin Yoga, gentle Yin poses. So there's a lot of different poses within the family of Yin. Yin just means a deep stretch where we'll be able to hold poses that require less muscular effort and more just kind of gravity once we get our body aligned, just easing into poses where we get a really deep stretch though. So some of those poses in the Yin family are a little bit, sometimes they can be a bit extreme, and so we're not going to touch on the extreme ones, rather the gentle ones today. I designed this sequence originally to be used with foam rollers. So if you have a foam roller, that could be your only prop today that you need to use, unless you have go-to that you'd like to grab. But a foam roller would be the first thing to start with. And we'll just start in supported shavasana. I'm going to set that aside and show you some other options, though, that you could use. So a bolster. Do you have a meditation bolster? Kind of a rectangular, a smaller version. Same thing. You could put that on your mat. If you have a meditation bolster, you might want to also support it with a block under the head end, just for a little bit of an incline. So that's option 2, perhaps a block and a meditation bolster. Also, I'll set that one aside. 2 blocks, perfect. You could just start with 2 blocks, and you might put both blocks this way. This might feel a little bit hard on your back. Kind of depends how it feels. So you can try it and see what you think. You also might turn it more like a T, or just starting without that and setting your blocks aside, because we'll definitely use the blocks. Or, so go to, if you don't have any of the bolsters and the foam rollers, 2 blocks, or ideal 2 blankets. I like to fold these blankets in half and half and half. They're yoga blankets. You could fold a big beach towel as well. Half and half and half until it's about the size of your torso, and then just roll it into a long, narrow little bolster. So basically just creating the same kind of bolster, about as long as your spine, from the head to the tailbone. So a couple of bolsters, 2 blankets. You could start with 2. If you only have 1, just roll 1, give it a try. 2 is going to give you just a little bit more support. So there you have it. Let's get started. If you have 2 blankets and 2 blocks, I would just put 1 block off to each side, but we can fold these blankets to be just like those, and we can use all those other props as well. All right, lots to talk about to get our setup here and all the various options. But let's start in a supported shavasana. So if you start by sitting, scoot your seat up to the end of the bolster, and then lie back on the bolster. You want to feel a back bend in your low spine. Certainly you don't want to be so high off the earth that you feel like your seat is sort of hanging in midair. If that's the case, you could minimize and just use 1 bolster. And then arms open up toward the sky, arms open out and down. Do you feel your shoulder blades hug the bolster? Do you feel sensation in the chest? Just extending our legs. If you're setting up in shavasana with no props at all, same thing, just find your way onto your back. Arms can extend out to the side. A little more sensation, arms out to the side, perhaps goalpost arms. And then pick up the weight of your head and lengthen the neck. If you're on a bolster, make sure the head is fully supported. We want to feel as if we have a supported back bend from our collarbone all the way down to the tailbone. And we'll just begin to settle into deep stretch, ease, surrender. So the goal in Yin is to settle yourself into a position, arrange your body into the pose, and adjust the pose so that you're right on the edge of your comfort zone. You're definitely searching for stretch in Yin poses. And if it's too much stretch, sometimes it's hard to relax if it's a little too much. So then you'd want to back out a little bit. As we hold these poses a little longer, you may notice that you get used to the stretch that you're feeling or the sensations, and you might choose to remove a little bit of the prop or the support to increase sensation. Likewise, all of a sudden your body might be done. Your nervous system might be telling you, all right, it's time to ease out, and you can always find neutral. You can always ease out whenever you're ready. So once you settle in, find the perfect amount of sensation. We'll do our best to commit to stillness, to steadiness, comfort, and ease. Sthira Sukha Asana. Take a deep breath in, long breath out. One more big breath. Fill the body with breath. Long breath out. With the exhalation, relax with the breath. Find a natural rhythm, a flow for the breath. In and out through the nose is our yoga breath. Long, deep breath. Observe the physical sensations. Easing into that sensation. Allowing gravity to hold the body's connection to the earth. Breathing. Bringing our mind back to the sensations that we're feeling in the pose. If you'd like to increase a little more sensation, you could begin to move the arms as if you were making snow angels along the earth. So fingertips, tops of the hands gliding on the earth. Breathing. Just discovering all the sensations you feel as you perhaps increase the size of the movement. When you find something good, a nice sensation that might be a little deeper, you could just pause there and allow gravity to ease the body into the earth. A few more breaths. We'll think about the next posture before we move there, depending on how you're propped or if you're propped. If you're in shavasana on the mat with no props, just stay in your pose a little longer. If you're on a bolster, you can take your arms down by your sides, bend your knees, plant your feet, and then lift your body up so that your seat is on and the head is falling over the end. So just still a little support on the back of the neck, and your hands can come right underneath your seat, elbows bent, extending the legs long. So we have hip extension, point the ankles, feet about hips width apart now. Wave those toes around, and you can adjust how much back bend you have in your neck. Supported back bend, supported fish pose. If you're on the mat with no props, bend your knees, plant your feet, lift your seat, and we'll place our hands right underneath the seat as well. So elbows bent, and then sit right down on top of your hands, extend your legs out, point the ankles, wave your little fishy fins, those little toes. Beautiful, just stretching front of ankle. And then if you lift your shoulder blades off the earth, tuck your elbows under a little bit more, you can use the elbows to create that support and a nice big back bend in the neck. So feeling an inversion in fish pose. With no props, this is not a yin pose. This is more, well, it might be a yin. I guess I think of it more as a yang, just because we have energy into this one. Breathing. Either way, feeling the back bend in the neck. Take a few more breaths here. out of this posture. We'll lift our seat, move the hands out of the way. Right arm next to the head, roll carefully off to the side, particularly if you're on a prop. And we'll lie in our fetal asana for a moment or two. So finding neutral between the deep stretches. Find the ease, feel the gravity in this position. Then our left hand can reach back for the left foot, the top of the left foot. Press your left foot into the left hand. You might be pressing away from your body. You might be pulling heel in toward body a little bit. Hips are neutral, so that left leg is parallel to the earth. Feeling sensation in the front of the left hip, the left thigh, the hip flexor, the left shoulder. Cat pulling its tail pose. Take a few more breaths here. Just feeling that extension on that left side of the body. Beautiful. Let's release the left leg. Draw that left knee in toward the chest. Hug that left knee in. Little counter stretch. Feel a little release in the low back. Beautiful. And we'll come onto our back. If you have props on your mat, move the props off the mat. And we'll come onto the left side body, left arm next to head, rolling onto left. Finding your fetal asana, so stack your shoulders, your hips, your knees. Feel the gravity settle in for a moment. Right hand reaches back for the right foot. Right thigh parallel to the earth, so neutral hip. Right foot presses into right hand. You might be pressing away from the body. You might be drawing heel in toward body. Whatever feels like a nice deep stretch for right hip flexor, right thigh, right shoulder. Pause and ease here. Breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths in our cat pulling its tail pose. The yin poses have interesting names. So typically we hold the yin poses a little longer. If we were holding this cat pulling its tail a little longer, we'd be using a strap and we'd be holding onto that right foot with the strap with that left hand. But we'll release. I feel like that one gets a little bit less than gentle. So release the right leg. Draw that right thigh in toward the chest. You might circle the ankle a little bit. Hip flexion, counter stretch. Beautiful. Extend right leg long. Now we'll roll onto our back. Find your symmetry here. Bending knees, planting feet. Pick up the weight of your head to lengthen the neck. Arms can open out to the sides. And we'll drop the knees side to side. So you can stick toward neutral, right towards center, smaller movement. Feel it out. You can make that movement a little larger if you like. Side to side, easing through the hips. Beautiful. Come on back to center. So let's get our props ready. If you can reach for your bolsters folded, that would be one option. If you're using blocks today, you could reach for one block. Just have it nearby. Bending knees, planting feet. Foam roller, same thing. Foam roller perpendicular, bolster perpendicular. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, lift your seat. Come up into bridge. At the top, walk the shoulders under, lengthen the neck. Going to tuck the chin and lengthen the back of the neck. Breathing. We'll start with rolling bridge. So lowering one vertebra at a time down until you're all the way down on the mat, the back of the waist. Take a little pause. Inhale. Exhale, lifting tailbone, rolling up. Top of the bridge. Inhale, rolling down. Articulating through the spinal column, joint by joint. Breathing. At the top, we get a little of that hip extension. Breathing. 2 more here, rolling bridges. This is a vinyasa style movement. Nice, last one. Whenever you're next at the top of your bridge, take a little pause. If you have blocks today, block on medium, foam roller perpendicular, bolster perpendicular, slide under your seat. You could pull the blankets right under the seat. And we'll set our hips, our pelvis backside of the pelvis, the sacrum down right on top of the block. How does that feel? Let's get used to that sensation. If you have a block, you could go a little lower. If you're using more than one blanket, you could lower a little bit if you want a little less sensation. If you want a little bit more sensation, extend your right leg out so the heel rests on the earth. The weight of the leg is held by the earth down at the heel, but feel that stretch on the front of the right hip. You could extend left leg out as well. Feel it out, one leg at a time. Takes the edge off, and you can switch legs, both legs out. Easing in, breathing. So observe the sensations that you're feeling in the body. If you'd like a little more sensation, you might try extending legs out a little longer. If you'd like a little less, you can back out, and once you find it, committing to stillness, do find the perfect amount of stretch. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Supported bridge. Last breath. Beautiful, bending knees, planting feet. If you have a foam roller under your sacrum, your hands, you'll want to hold the foam roller. It's a nice place to rest your hands if you have blankets there as well. Otherwise, just arms down by your sides. Bring your right leg in towards your body, and then the left. So we're tucking into a little child's pose, supported, that low spine with the block, with the bolster, with the foam roller. Notice how that feels. You get a little massage wherever the prop presses. You could tip the knees a little left to right. Move it around, move the prop up or down a little on the sacrum. Feel it out. Where does it feel like a nice stretch? If you want to pause and hold, you could interlock your fingers. Little basket weave to the fingers. It's a nice little bandar lock, and just let the arms kind of hold the legs in. It gives a little more gravity to that tuck. Rock the head a little side to side. Breathing, supported reclined child's pose. It's the counter stretch for the back bend, for the hip extension, deep flexion. Beautiful. One more breath here. So if your fingers are interlocked, we'll release our grip. Now point your knees up toward the sky and drop your knees to the left and to the right. Could start small, kind of like we did when we had our feet planted. You could start a little smaller. Make that movement a little bigger. Drop the knees off to one side. You feel the side stretch, kind of a little spinal twist, side to side. Beautiful. Come on back to center. Tiptoes touch down. And you could tip the knees a little side to side. Beautiful. Let's begin to draw some circles with the knees. So you're tucking and then extending knees away from you. Draw a few circles clockwise. Any size circle, whatever feels good in your body. Draw a few circles counterclockwise. Breathing. Beautiful. Back to center, back to the tuck. And we'll begin to extend our legs longer. So unfurl the legs, kind of like a sprout. Extending out. Pause wherever you feel like you've got some good sensation on the back of the legs. The thighs might be closer to the body. The thighs might be vertical, kind of perpendicular from your body as well. Breathing. So you might get a little more sensation in the low back with the thighs closer to the body. Any amount of bend in the knees. Relax your upper body. Relax your arms. See if you can find stillness. Breathing, easing into, let's take about 3 more breaths here. In our supported plow pose, if the thighs are closer to the body, or our supported legs up the wall pose, if our legs are high. One more breath. Beautiful. Bending knees, untucking, planting feet, lifting seat. Pull your props out from under, off to the side, and let's go through a few articulated bridges again. Lifting and lowering, working through all the bones in the spine, joint by joint. Beautiful. One more breath here. Exhale. Find your way to the top of the bridge. Walk the shoulders under. Press into the big toe ball mounds of the feet as you lift your hips a little higher. Softening the neck. One more breath. This is our standard, more of a yang pose, the yin yang, the yin, the ease, the yang is the energy. Beautiful. Lowering down, vertebra by vertebra. Nice. Let's roll off to either side. You could find your fetal asana. Press on up to seated. We'll come to any comfortable seat. If it's more comfortable to sit on your prop, elevate the sitting bones. Might help align the spine a little taller. And then inhale, lift your chin, lift your heart. Exhale, tuck your chin, round your spine, forward and down. One more inhaling as you lift, create a back bend, open throat, open heart. On the exhale, tall again, then tuck the chin, round the spine, forward and down. Beautiful. Inhale, tall. Right ear to right shoulder. Tall to center. Left ear to left shoulder, shoulders down and relaxed. Let's tuck our chin to collarbone on the left. Roll the head forward and down. All the way over to the right shoulder, right ear. Beautiful. Tuck chin to collarbone on the right now. Roll the head the other direction. Half circles, full circles. A few times around. Breathing. Long, deep breath. One more breath. Should we make it around both ways? Beautiful. Back to center, nice and tall. So bending knees, planting feet, sitting up on your prop, the block, the foam roller, a couple of blankets. Feet are a little wider, heels and toes out so the hips are open. And then you can take hands to heart. If you want elbows to press open a little, giving a little leverage, arms could just open out as well, helping open our hips. So make that adjustment. Where does it feel comfortable to place the feet with open hips, and then zip that body up nice and tall. Breathing. So I like hands to heart with elbows as my leverage here. I feel like I can find a little more ease in this position. This is a very low Garland, supported Garland with the prop beneath the seat. Open hips and flexion. One more breath here. Beautiful. All right, so let's take our feet in a little closer to the body. Plant your hands, little yogi squat. Take it side to side. Begin to extend your legs. Long, forward fold, wide stance, feet parallel. Breathe. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. You can adjust the feet here. On the exhale, easing forward, forward fold, softening, breathing. Forward fold is a yin pose if it feels stable in your body. If the earth's a little far away, your hands could be resting on a block. Breathing. How does it feel in the back side of the legs? If you feel like you can find some ease and there's a lot of tugging behind the knee, then give that knee just a little bit of a bend. So we want to feel the stretch in the belly of the muscle, the belly of the hamstring, the back of the leg. A little bigger bend to the knee, you may get a little more sensation in the low back as well. Breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths here, easing into forward fold, inversion. Beautiful. Big bend to the knees. Let's come to half lift and then all the way up to sky. Reach and gaze. Exhale, hands to heart. Turning our heels in and our toes out. Open hips, body tall, bending knees. So keep your seat tucked in as you lower down. This is more of a vinyasa style or a yang style of the Garland we just did supported. Breathing, so opening hips, seat tucked in so you feel that stretch on the front of the hips. One more breath here. Beautiful, legs long. Release. We'll move into a little bit of vinyasa. So let's turn our left heel toward the left, right toes toward the right, body tall, arms parallel to the earth, right over the legs. Zip that body up tall and reach out into the right fingertips. So take that long body with you toward the right. Pause when you don't go further. Tick-tock the arms, left arm up, right arm down. Neck turns to gaze up, although you could rotate the neck any direction as long as it's lined up with the spine, the rest of the spine. Feel for the sensation the ribs are rotating toward the sky. Breathing. Inhale, tall. Reverse, left arm drops back, right arm reaches. Beautiful. One more triangle pose. Body tall. Reach out into right fingertips. Feel the tug. Pause when you feel a tug. Tick-tock. Left arm up, right arm down. Breathing. You can go a little deeper as long as those ribs are still rotating towards sky. Beautiful. Inhale, tall. Reverse. Left arm back. Right arm reaches. Body tall. We'll rotate, kind of swivel those hips toward the right clockwise. So we're facing right leg, left heel angles back. I just stepped my right foot out a little wider. So each foot gets its own lane. Right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale, length. Pull the crown of the head toward the sky. On the exhale, body folds toward right leg. Think hinging at hip crease. Pause when you feel sensation. Inhale, lengthen, half lift. Good pose for a block beneath the hand. So if you can pull that right hip back, left hip forward, you can re-angle that left heel. Easing in, one more breath, pyramid pose. Beautiful, let's bend that right knee as we come tall. Stay facing that right leg. Arms reach up, shoulders drop down. Warrior one, press into the outer edge of your left foot. Right hip is pulling back, left hip pulling forward, shoulders down the back body. One more breath here. Beautiful, warrior one, back to our pyramid, right leg long, arms release, inhale, length, long spine, exhale, folds toward right leg. Pyramid, beautiful, inhale back to warrior one, right knee bends, body tall. We'll rotate our body toward the left. Warrior two, arms parallel to the earth, over the legs, neck turns to gaze down the right fingertips. Breathing, right knee right over heel. Can you see your big toe inside of the right knee? Breathing, shoulders over hips. One more breath, Virabhadrasana, two. Peaceful warrior. Left arm drops back as the right arm reaches, gazing. Warrior two, deciding. Right elbow to right thigh, left arm to sky, gaze to sky. Left arm can reach right. Arm options. Both arms reach apart. Breathing. One more breath here, side angle. Beautiful, peaceful. Left arm back, right arm lifts. Back to warrior two. Both legs long. Let's toe heel in a little less wide. We'll do the other side, so you can switch if you want to block on the other side. So wide stance, left toes toward the left, right heel toward the right, body facing the length of your mat, arms parallel to the earth. Push feet into earth, pull body tall, reach out into those left fingertips. Breathing. Keep reaching till you feel the tug, tick-tock the arms, right arm up, left arm down. So it's not a pose where we're reaching for the earth. In fact, it's a pose where we're reaching in both directions from center. So feel for the sensation that the ribs are rotating toward the sky. And then if you can deepen with ribs towards sky, that's fine as well, but the goal is not touching earth. Breathing. Sometimes if that's our goal, like in our mind, if we're imagining we're supposed to be, we lose all the sensations that are intended. Inhale, tall, reverse, right arm back, left arm lifts. Inhale. Beautiful. One more time, find that triangle. Pull that body tall, lengthen, reach out into left fingertips, tick-tock. Breathing. Reach up, reach down. Nice long spine. That's the Utthita part of our Trikonasana. Inhale, tall, reverse, right arm back, left arm lifts. Beautiful. Body tall. Now we'll swivel our hips counterclockwise and then step left foot perhaps a little wider so each foot gets its own lane. Left toes toward the left, right heel still angling back. Right hip forward, left hip back. Long spine, inhale. On the exhale, long spine folds toward left leg. Pyramid. Good pose for a block here. You can re-angle, right heel back more if you like. Right hip forward, left hip back. One more breath in pyramid. It's a big hamstring stretch. Left knee bends as we come tall. Keep that right heel planted, angled back. Arms reach. Left knee over heel. Breathing. Press into outer edge of right foot. Feel that sensation up the right calf. Beautiful. Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, release. Left leg long. Inhale, body tall. Exhale, one more pyramid pose. Breathing. Beautiful. Inhale back to our warrior 1. Rotating body toward the right. Arms parallel to the earth. Neck turns to gaze toward the left. Arms align over legs. Left knee over heel. Shoulders over hips. Take a peek at that left big toe. Is it inside of the left knee? Can you see it there? You gotta pull that hip open. Beautiful. One more breath here. Peaceful warrior. Right arm drops back. Left arm lifts. Inhale. On the exhale, warrior 2 to side angle. Left elbow to left thigh. Right arm to sky. Gaze to sky. Arm options. Right arm can reach left. Arms could reach up and down. Breathing. Peaceful warrior. Right arm back. Left arm lifts. Back to warrior 2. Both legs long. Feet parallel. Wide stance. So we get a little bit wider there as we stay in those warriors for a while, don't we? So feet parallel, hips width. Press into the big toe, palm onto the feet just as much as the outer. Zip that body up tall on the inhale. Exhale, half lift. Seat back, body forward. Inhale, lengthen spine. Hands to the knees or shins. Shoulders down the back ribs. Pulling seat away from head. Long spine folds a little further forward. Half lift can come further forward. Wherever it feels like you start to round, then we'll ease into forward fold. Beautiful, big bend to knees, come tall. Reach up, gaze up, palms together overhead. Exhale to heart. Toe heel or hop back to mountain, Tadasana. Feet parallel, hips distance apart. Beautiful, reach up, inhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Forward fold, softening the knees. Breathing, feet are about hips distance apart. Maybe we're holding opposite elbow if you like the rag doll. We'll hold forward fold for about 3 breaths here. Imagine this as our yin pose. Finding as much ease as we can in the body. If you're feeling the tug behind the knee, bend the knees just a bit. Move that tug to the belly of the muscle, belly of the hamstring. One more breath here, easing into surrendering. Wish Ishvara Pranadana. Our yamas and niyamas, the surrender into beautiful. Bending knees will come all the way down to our seat. Any way you like to get down. I like coming through yogi squat. And we'll finish our series, our sequence today with a little bit more yin. So 2 blocks, 2 blankets. We'll get them set up before we go down. I've got my blankets folded today. So I'm going to use blankets, but you could just as easily use the blocks. You could use 1 foam roller across the middle. Breathing. So I'm going to fold my long bolsters into little stumps here, or you could use the blocks. And then we'll roll onto our backs. Get those props ready right at the center of your mat. Bending knees and planting feet. Find your symmetry with the upper body. Pick up the weight of the head, lengthen the neck. Open the arms out to the sides, get your shoulder blades adjusted. Beautiful. Now bring your legs together, bring your feet together, and we'll drop the hips open, Supta Baddha Konasana. Slide a prop beneath the thighs, beneath the knees, and just let the legs rest on the prop to begin with. Find your symmetry. Feet can be closer up toward the body. Feet could be a little further away from the body, and we'll get a little different angle with the thigh bone in the hip socket. So feel it out. It's going to tug a little differently in everyone's body. How are you feeling? Do you feel sensation in the hips? We're going for yin, so if you're not feeling a lot, you could minimize the props, take them out, or make them a little smaller perhaps. And if you're feeling too much sensation, likewise, give yourself a little more sensation, a little more stretch. If you're using foam roller for this today, the foam roller is perpendicular right underneath the knees. So you're supporting both knees on that foam roller. How does that feel? Foam rollers aren't that adjustable size-wise, and so what I like to do if I have a foam roller and I need a little more sensation in a reclined butterfly is to just pick the feet up and set them on top of the foam roller. You can kind of adjust ankles, shins, somewhere on that foam roller, and that's kind of an interesting sensation, interesting angle on the pelvis. Breathing. How are you feeling in the upper body? If you want a little more sensation for the chest, you could take arms into goalpost arms. You might even bring your fingertips together for diamond arms. And we'll commit to our stillness with a perfect amount of stretch, edge of the comfort zone. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Feel the exhalation, the gravity holding your body, supporting your body. Let's take 2 more big breaths here in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined, bound angle. Last breath. So we'll bring our arms out to the sides, bring your knees together. If you have the foam roller, you're probably going to want to move the foam roller off to the side. Otherwise, your props can stay right where they are. Bring your legs together, and then we'll cross the right leg over the left. So you're hooking your knees together, kind of like eagle pose if you were standing. Pick up your seat, tuck your left hip under, drop your knees over toward left. Maybe they rest on the block, maybe they rest on the blanket, kind of resting the knee, the shin. Neck turns to gaze toward the right. Breathing. So crossing your knees gives you a little more sensation in the right glutes, kind of the opposite. And whichever leg is on top, that's the glute you feel it most likely. And then just observe here as you settle in, adjusting for the perfect amount of stretch. Mind's eye observes the shape of your spine. Is it nice and long? Even though it's twisting, even though you're wringing out the spine, tugging on all those muscles that attach to support the spine. you can make those little adjustments so it feels like there's rotation but not flexion or extension. One more breath here, reclined spinal twist. And we'll come out of the twist with the neck and then the rest of the body. Uncrossing your legs, find your symmetry. Reset, long spine. You can start with that long spine. Left leg crosses over right. Right seat lifts, right seat tucks under as knees drop toward the right. Neck turns to gaze toward the left. Breathing, option to prop under the knees. Option to untangle the knees. Notice the shape of the spine, nice and long. You might untuck right shoulder blade a little. And we'll take 3 long, deep breaths. In our reclined spinal twist with glute stretch. To rest together. Maybe you rock the head a little side to side, maybe bring your arms down, maybe halfway to your body or so. Feel it out. Find a nice neutral, resting pose. One more breath here at neutral. And we'll think about our final relaxation pose. Any of these yin poses that felt restful, prop a lot so that you don't have a lot of sensation. I would recommend the supported shavasana. Create the little bolster, maybe 1 instead of 2 if you're using the blanket. The support under the spine, extending legs out. Maybe it's legs up the wall pose with the support under the seat. Breathing, more of a restorative sensation. The difference in yin and restorative is just lots of sensation, yin, very little sensation, very relaxing. Both very relaxing. Restorative. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Relax with the breath. Just smile. Offer everything into the rising, the falling flow of the breath. The mind, the body, the breath, the heart in union, in yoga. Do nowhere to be but here and now. Please feel free to remain in your final relaxation pose for as long as you like. It's traditional to hold our final relaxation for at least 10 minutes. Longer if you can. So if you're comfortable, just keep settling in, continue to be in union. That is the yoga, the union of mind, body, and breath. The outer eyes are closed. The inner eye opens. So we've closed those 2 eyes of duality that see the world through duality. Reason, that intellect. And we've opened that one eye, that mind's eye of perception, of understanding. Gazing inward to Ajna, center of the mind, honoring wisdom. Gazing downward to heart center, Anahata, honoring it be like if everyone, everywhere, experienced peace, love, joy, and light? What would it be like if all people had everything they needed and then some? What would it be like if all people loved themselves and loved others? Really imagine it. Really see it. Feel it. May we do our best to make it be so. May the light and the spirit live in me. Seek to see the light and the spirit that live in you, in everyone. May everyone everywhere experience peace and joy without exception. Everyone. Namaste. Thank you for practice today, friends. My name is Ellen. If you're joining us on Facebook today, log on to ymcanorth.org and click on Virtual Y and learn about our memberships. We have just virtual only memberships available, 40 classes a week, over 40 classes a week